Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And it's Saturday. Time to party. And of course, I got two of my best friends here, Mr. Robert V. and Trina Phoenix. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
We're good. We're good.
One more Saturday night.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it says we're live on YouTube. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think I'm
All
back in good graces.
It says live here.
All right, we're good to go then. I got my volume turned down, so it was nice. Like I've been griping here the past few days. It's just been so cold around here, and man, today it was like 82 or 83 degrees, not a cloud in the sky early, and got to get out and get in the yard, and it was nice. My mom and my stepdad came by and hung out with me about most of the day, so I've had a pretty good day.
right on.
Oh, nice.
What have y'all been into today?
I worked.
Oh, did you?
I had to clean a castle.
Robert, you been riding horses?
Not today. Not today. I was gonna, but then I got to planting some stuff in the garden and doing things like that. And, I got a bunch of tomato plants planted, and I got
You started breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I got green beans planted. I got what else did I get planted? Turnips. I planted turnips.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah, I need to plant some radishes pretty quickly. I think that's one of the first things I need to plant. I love radishes. I love anything out of the garden, to be honest with you.
I've started some stuff too, and I like it, and I want to do more. I need to get some raised beds built though, because I've got huskies.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. Like I've done the planting pots and stuff like that. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of watering.
Yeah,
that's one thing about it. But I mean, you're in Arizona anyway. It's a lot of water and whatever you grow.
Yep. And I'm trying to figure out where stuff can go, because the sun, boy, it's just been different. It's just hotter than it used to be. It's whiter than it used to be. I remember, about 4 years ago, we were having a phenomenon in Arizona where like all the landscaping pots, where they put all the plants and stuff in, they were melting. Yeah, the trash cans were melting. Our street signs were melting. It was crazy. And then another weird thing that was happening was all of our blue paint on our signs was turning to white, but the red would stay. It was really strange.
Wait a minute. Well, see, the sun it's burning a blue light spectrum right now, and that's weird how it burned away the blue.
No, it did burn away the red. I think stop signs were gone.
I thought I remembered stop signs being bleached out.
Yeah, I think it was the stop signs were gone. So
okay, so now I'm curious to whether the blue would fade under that blue light spectrum.
No, it was seeming that the blue was okay, but the red was gone. It was just really weird. We had signs and they were just bleached out. And then we had other signs, like the freeway signs, they're green with the white letters. The white letters were like running. They were like melting. It was, I'd never seen that. I've been here my entire life. And I was like, whoa, this is serious heat.
I wonder with the way they've slowed down air travel and stuff, wonder how much that's going to affect us without that haze above.
I don't know. I was wondering that too.
I guess we shall see.
Well, and that's the thing. Well, the thing is, they've been masking it for so long. We don't really know what the weather is supposed to be. I mean, what is the weather really supposed to be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Are we getting ready to find out?
I think we got through cycles, but I mean, I've been in the same location area my whole life, and I've seen all the cycles, because I'm 50. So I've seen the deck, they usually go in these like 7-year cycles. I've seen the big monsoon seasons, the El Niños, and I've seen all that stuff, but we're getting some weird weather for sure.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, I think it's only going to get worse, but it is nice to see those big old poofy cumulus clouds again, though. All those natural clouds.
They look like cotton balls. I remember when I was a kid, that's all we used to see.
I know. I mean, go ahead, Robert.
When I was going to say, they used to be them cotton balls, and I remember going out and laying in the field. You probably did the same thing, lay out in the field and watch them just flying over the top of you for hours.
I got a question for you, Robert. I think I've asked Trina before. So you remember seeing shapes in the clouds and whatnot, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
seeing figures, faces. Do you think that that is just part of the cloud formation, or do you think maybe you manifest that?
I think it's you picture stuff and then you try to associate it with something that's similar.
Yeah.
And even though you're looking at it, it's the cloud. It's only going to be good for you from that perspective.
Right.
And at that point in time. Now, is it something that you manifested? Yes and no. You manifested that image of that cloud to be what you wanted it to be, but the guy next to you might see something totally different.
Absolutely.
He might see an elephant.
You made my point for me, to be honest with you. So now let me
okay, there you go.
Saturnian Sun says, still see planes producing chemtrails here in Florida. Yeah, I mean, you see them occasionally here as well, but I mean, I used to constantly get bombarded, like every day, hammer time.
Yeah, we got hammered last week, but like only one day in a while, and it's used to be almost every afternoon.
I mean, you go back and look at my music videos.
Yeah.
That's my skies. So.
Yeah. You could see five or 10 of them in the air at almost every couple of days, or you just go out there and count, oh, look, I'm seeing 10 here and there's 5 over there. And and now, oh, I see. Yeah, you see one and you go, wow, look, there's a chemtrail plane.
And have you noticed the ones that's laying them out? It's the ones way up there. It's military. I've seen one commercial that was laying one out, but for the most part, it's been military. Because I actually got a video the other day with where the military was going over laying one out, and there was a commercial liner just right under it, and there wasn't nothing behind it, not even a little one.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Let's see what we got with us real quick and we'll get her rolling. I know I waited too long, but oh well. Here we go. Dark Truth. How you doing? Cheesesteak 22. My man, Dominic Delete. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think that's first time viewer, unless it's Dominic Spieto I'm talking about. It could be. Twisted Isby. What's going on, my friend? Big Al. Nothing but love, my brother. Pure Love Ascension. You already know. As above, so below. Good to see you. There's Deborah L. Smith. I hope she's on the mend. What else we got going on here? Julianne Payne. Yeah, Julie, I think I'm going to try to work that up, get the logistics going, and maybe we can read poetry next Friday. So,
oh, right on.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I love poems.
I know, and I mean, she's got a lot of good ones. You've got a lot of good ones, and I know anybody else that would be interested in doing a show on poetry, send me an email. And I'll get back to you really quick. I'm actually catching up on emails. I've only got a couple left. So send me an email and let me know if you're interested and like to come on. If you don't want to come on and show your face, you can just call in or I can set something up. So what else we got going on here? Rebecca Galactinoff. What's going on, huh? There's Sparkles.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Darth Samuel Nagain. How you doing, my friend? Zigzagzilla, I want to get him back on here too, man. I love him. There's Mr. Scratchy. How you doing, buddy? Jewel Laudica, good to see you. Anonymous Education. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. First time viewer, I think. Ian Barber, what's going on, my friend? Yahweh, what's going on, man?
Hello.
David Berry 75. David Berry, he toughed it out and made it. Good to see you, friend. Who else we got going here? Getting through
It's got to be like midnight English.
It's probably later than that. There's Deborah Trudeau.
Probably like
Karen Lynn, first time viewer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's Miss Amanda B from down under. Yeah. Jesse McCartney, good to see you. What is happening? Finally caught alive. Been a while. Well, welcome back, my friend. Who else we got going on here? Saturnian Sun, good to see you. I think I said Karen Lynn, but once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else? There's Dominic. That's got to be Dominic Spiotta. It's got to be. David Castle. What's going on, my friend? Come on now. I'm getting there. I feel it.
Yep.
I feel it. If I miss somebody, I truly apologize, but I think I'm there. Oh, KT Emma. What's going on, honey? Good to see you.
Hi, KT.
I don't like to miss people if I don't have to.
I just want to point out too that Pure Love Ascension, she put on a really good interview with David Castle. So
Oh,
everybody head
I've
on
got it
over there
saved on
and
Watch
watch
Later.
that.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saved that. I want to see it.
It was a really good interview. I thought it was real good. More people should head over there and check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her on here too as well.
Awesome.
That was a good one.
Lovejoy Wellness Massage. That's what I need. True. Been a rough week. Who else we got going? Golly, I let it go way too long. Okay, now I'm caught up. Good deal. Well, tonight I'm handing the steering wheel over to Robert V. And I'm just going to be keeping up with chat and stuff, but y'all are going to have to stay on your toes with this one because we're going to challenge you tonight. We've got some things for y'all to work on if you're interested. You know, it's by your own participation. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Robert V.
Okay, so let's start with this because we talked about this last year just before we got on. And Trina, you can go right along. If you got some ideas, Trina, I want you to throw them out there. This is kind of just on the fly for you, but I want everybody, I watch the chat room continuously. And I know we all do, and we participate in there, and we all talk, and then, you know, we got there's people in there that's got some really good stories. They got things that go on, and we're trying to do positive stuff. So what I want is we're going to ask for volunteers first. And we're going to give a task to each volunteer. And each volunteer is going to come up with, we're going to give you an idea, and then you're going to go out and do this and then report back to us here. Now you're going to have 3 ways to do this. And that is going to be, you can make a video of your own and post it to your channel, or you can, and then Brian will, announce it and, send everybody to your channel to watch it. And we'll encourage you to go check that out. Number 2, you can come on the show with Brian and he will interview you and you can tell all about your thing that you get assigned. Or number 3, you can write a letter. If you don't feel comfortable on camera, you can write up a nice email, send it to Brian, he'll read it, and that'll be it. If it's a short story, an event that happened to you, whatever it is that explains what task I have given to you, then that will be your thing, and you'll have to convey that. And if Brian gets his call-in thing going, you could just call in too. I know, Brian, that's up to you.
Yeah, it's ready to roll too. It's ready to roll. Okay. I can take calls anytime now. They got it fixed. Okay, good. And then so you could call in, make a video, come on to the channel and do the show, and or write a letter. Everybody good with that? How's it looking in the chat room there for you? I mean, there's a lot of hellos and stuff going on, but I have seen some interest in it though.
Yeah, a couple said it's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. And don't look at it like we're trying to put work on you or something like.
This is all going to be this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun thing, and it's going to be a positive thing. Okay, and so here's the first one. We want somebody to go out and do a story about the most interesting person they have ever met.
And that should be an easy one.
Tell about them, make a video about them. Yeah, that should be real easy. Okay. You got any volunteers for that one?
I don't know yet. But
the most interesting person.
And more than one person.
It could be there.
More than one person can do the same thing. It's not one person and nobody else can do that. If many people want to do that one, that's fine.
Do what you're drawn to do.
Right. Exactly.
Do what you're drawn to.
Yeah,
do what sounds fun for you.
And I promise you, you'll get a lot back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's going to be interesting for everybody to hear. Exactly. We're all going to get something out of it. And it's going to be more than that little comment section that somebody says, oh yeah, I got a really good story. I met this really cool person, you know, or it could be about their father, their mother, their brother, their sister, a guy they met on the corner that helped them out with gas when they ran out, you know. They could have been in an accident and somebody did something real nice for them, whatever. An interesting person they know, met, whatever. It doesn't have to be a long thing. It could be a small paragraph they write. Like I said, it could be a 2-minute video.
I'll give you a for instance.
You know,
I'll give you a for instance. A person that I always found interesting was there was a bum that always walked through Kingsport, and he always wore this, you know, big old polyester suit that was baby blue and it was all dirty, big old beard, unkempt. Like I said, he was a drunk alcoholic bum. Well, you know, started looking into it, and at first I thought it was just one of those lore or something. But come to find out, he used to be one of Kingsport's best lawyers, and just ended up, something happened, and he snapped. Had all this money, like millionaire, but lived on the streets.
wow.
And he just passed away.
What happened. Dang.
Yeah, he just passed away like a couple of weeks ago. It was in the paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know exactly what happened to him. Enlightenment.
Yeah, there you go. See,
Hey.
and see that's exactly it. See how short that story was and easy and stuff. So Brian, you're reading the comments. Does anybody want to?
Oh yeah, we've got lots of interest now.
Okay, well, I want you to take names or something so that we can keep track of these people.
I'll have to go back and do it when it reposts later. If I'm going to keep up with it and take names, no, I'll do it later. But I'll get them.
Okay, do it later. Okay, good deal. Okay, here's the next one. Recount the most spiritual situation you have ever encountered. The most spiritual situation you have ever encountered. That could be ghosts, it could be God, it could be angels. I mean, Trina's always talking about, you know, stuff like that.
It could be that aha moment.
Yeah, that too, something. But a spiritual situation most spiritual situation you ever encountered. Okay, I hope there's some interest in that one. You'll have to go back. People, raise your hands, do something in there, saying you want that one. Let Brian know in the comments.
They probably want to hear all their options before they pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Well,
I want to hear my options before I pick.
Well, the thing is some people might be drawn more to that.
I've been drawn to 2 already, so I'm like, okay, what else you got here?
Okay, well, maybe these people in the kind of thing, you'll have to rewatch this and write it down later, or write it down. Okay, here's another one. 5 things you see for the future of man, and explain each.
These are great. See, I mean, I could see you wanting to do more than one.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like I said, you can make a video that you could do all of them and then come on your show. You'd have a lot to talk about.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, I might pick one from each category.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. I got a bunch of. I don't have that many, but Trina, if you got anything you want to throw out there, you can think of something too. I just wrote these down. I put it in my little book. You know, I got that little black book.
And listen, folks, let me say something real quick. Okay. If you didn't hear something in that, but you feel like you may have something else you want to bring forth, that's fine too. We're not painting you in a corner here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have something creative and unique that you think you want to bring to the plate, absolutely.
Like artwork, because I get seeing a lot of artwork, man, beautiful artwork. And that's one of the things I'm going to show on Friday when we do that poetry reading. I've received some beautiful artwork.
Yeah, and like even if you wanted to write like a short story.
Yeah, like I said, whatever. I just want y'all to create. That's it.
Yeah, or music.
Exactly, in a positive way. I mean, these are all really positive things. I'm just tossing out ideas out there because a lot of people go, you know, what can I do? And then they just sit there and go, I don't know. I have no clue. Okay, here's the next one. One thing in your life, and explain the reason it brings you love and joy to you.
That's so easy. One
thing in your life, and explain the reason it brings love and joy to you. That's a big variety there. That could
Oh,
be
yeah.
everything from a pop bottle, bottle here to your family, to your kids,
Yeah,
all
just
the
like
people that have kids and
puppies.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. There you go, your dogs. Exactly. Anything, I mean, things that bring love and joy. Where's the howling now? We hear,
Right? Yeah.
Oh boy.
I love laughter.
Yeah.
I needed this.
I love them. Yeah.
I needed
I
this
like
today. Thank you.
Yes. This is one of the things I'm really good at. I'm really good at doing this kind of stuff. So, I mean, maybe my thing ain't writing the story or doing this, but my thing is to motivate people. I used to be an activities director. So
I was
here you
going to
go,
say, Robert is Milky Way Messenger's activities director.
Yeah.
You have a new title.
Yeah, how do you think I got to be the legend?
Okay.
Anyway.
Activities director. That might include a crystal dig in Arkansas. We need to work on that.
I'm going to make that happen. That
Because
will
if these
happen.
restrictions are getting lifted this summer, let's try to get this going before the summer's done, because I have a feeling they might get some crazy shit in the fall. So let's.
Yeah.
That's why I thought about doing it late September, but I'm thinking early September now, right after it's August, because they'll probably start shutting down again in late September, October, if it's going to happen. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
activities director. Let's
Okay,
start
here we
working on
go.
that.
Now, yeah, I know. My sister lives right down there by the crystal digging spot.
That's
She lives
awesome.
like, my nephew lives right next door to it.
That's
You
awesome.
seen Sanji, Robert?
Oh boy, wow! I didn't see that one.
This thing's big too. It's pretty big.
It is. It's big. Yeah.
That was sent to me from Sherry Spears. Man, I'd love to know what she's into now.
Me too. Haven't heard from her in a long time.
My mom actually brought her up today. Like, she was, I don't know.
People come, people go. I don't know where we see. This is the thing. We want to keep everybody in contact and closer. I'm always putting my email out there, and you're always saying, "Hey, email me with anything," because we need to all kind of stay in touch. Because if YouTube ever goes down, you lose your channel against something, we're done. It's
knows
over.
I've been through that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's back on track here.
All
okay,
right.
I only got a couple more here. Okay. A dream journal for a week and give a report. Have a dream journal for a week and give a report.
So like I said, I should have done that one this week, but Lord have mercy, y'all thought I was a crazy person.
No.
I'd fall asleep and it'd be a crazy dream, and I'd wake up from the dream. Fall asleep, crazy dream, wake up. It was just never stopped.
That's awesome. What was the name you said that you got?
The name? What?
Name or street name or something you said, and it was real?
What are you talking about?
What?
When you're in your dream about the Templars.
It was Baloo. Belleau. Baloo,
wow.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
And I think to the best of my knowledge, it's in Portugal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, I was wondering that. I was like, what was the name you heard? That's fascinating.
I'm still waiting for somebody to email me, with some knowledge on the Knights Templar. Have you ever done any research on the Knights Templar, Robert?
A little bit. That kind of all goes back to all them, secret cults and stuff like that, and that just, they branch off. We think of the Knights Templar, and that's just a small part of, the serpent cult, the other cults. They're actually all linked together. It's almost like levels, the way I see it, and watch. It's
Skull and Bones and all that. That's branched off from the Knights Templar. And they're the ones that hold the esoteric knowledge, It's amazing. Like I knew nothing about the Knights Templar until this started happening. I'm reading up on it now.
I've been drawn to them since I was a little girl. That was like knights in shining armor. That was like always my thing,
Well, see, I always loved pirates, and come to find out, all of the famous pirates of, Knights Templar. Go look it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were the pirates too.
I'm talking Blackbeard, every one of them, Knights Templar.
I know, yes, they were. Well, because they were moving treasure from place to place.
Yep.
And you know,
Mhm.
I think in the beginning, that's where we get the Peter Pan stuff, is from the Templars. I think they were stealing from the wealthy churches and
No,
kings,
they
and they were
were.
giving the wealth to the people.
It's well, from what I know, it started out that way.
Robin Hood, not Peter Pan, Robin
Yeah,
Hood.
Robin
Yeah,
Hood. It
Robin Hood.
started out that way. Them, just like with Robin Hood, he started out actually, yeah, robbing
Yeah,
and giving to the
stealing
poor,
from
but
the
then
rich and giving to the poor. Yeah.
and then he got greedy and was just
Yep.
keeping it for himself.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think too, and while they were getting treasures, I think that's when they found some things that they weren't supposed to know about. And I think that that was a very important tool for them to kind of blackmail people to get even way more money.
Like I said, I know the main message that they were hiding, you know, as far as the Grail is, there's nothing between us and God, and that was the big secret, which it still is.
Yeah, and it's literally the chalice and the sword. It's the feminine and the masculine polarity, you know, integrating within you, and that activates the Christ mind. So it's, yeah, it was about
It's
activating
crazy.
your inner eye and being able to directly communicate with God once again. It was literally like you're saying, Brian, there's no in between you and source.
Right.
You can tap into that when you can tap into that divinity that's within you. And and they didn't want people to know that.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Period.
no, they
Can't
and
make
who
money
is the
off that.
they? The they is the church. The church was
Correct.
the they.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
I swear every book that I've been reading, they're always the they, and literally took control and said, hey, you know, we don't want the common people to know the truth, because if they did, they wouldn't give us their money. They wouldn't obey us. They wouldn't, you know, fear us. And with fear, control, and, you know, they ruled, you know, fear and
Well,
control.
and look, you know, Jesus was throwing the money changers tables over, and he got crucified. So, you know, it didn't go so well for people who were standing up for the truth.
I mean, you know, because Jesus was trying to tell us.
The same message.
Yeah.
Same message. And it's so funny too, because they're saying a lot of the Templar teachings went into the Essenes, and Jesus
Yep.
was the Essene. Yeah, he was an Essene.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So
Somehow it always boils down. It
Yeah.
always boils down to those secret groups that had the mystic ancient knowledge.
Yeah, because you know,
Always.
when we have that ancient esoteric knowledge, it literally, it would destroy church pretty much, because people, they would understand they don't need to go to a building. You can go to a building to worship with people in a common resonance, because worshiping in big large groups is such a
Right.
beautiful, powerful thing. But it would change the whole idea of it. Like, they wouldn't be praying outside, they would be praying within, and the control and the patriarchal system would completely fall apart, because the introduction with the divine feminine would be integrated in the worship, and it would just make everything fall on its face how it stands now. So yeah, they didn't want this stuff out. They still don't. They don't, you know, they don't want to get rid of the patriarchal view that we have on religion.
But there's people like in this community that's starting to talk about it. And that's the whole thing, is getting out there and talking about it. Tell people, let them know. If they walk away from you and call you crazy, hey, that's just another one to add to the list.
You know, sometimes it takes a little bit of that to start to awaken people that you love. And it's going to be hard, because when you drop these bombs on people, like, you know, when you find out there's no J, you're like, what? You know, there's these certain things that these bombs, when they get dropped in your consciousness, a lot of people they'll react with attack, because
Yep.
you've just blown everything in their reality apart. So be compassionate and understand what you've just done, and know that obviously it hit them very powerfully, because you just affected powerful change within them. But
Yep.
but like I said, when people have those kind of reactions, try not to egg them on, try to comfort them through, you know, it's all right, because they need time to process it, and it will anchor, because you tripped their trigger. So you're going to see, I think, more of this, because people are waking up in mass right now. I
I
have
think
never
that's why you're
seen it
seeing
like
all this
this.
madness.
Yes, I've never seen it like this. It's going off the charts.
Yeah. I think that's why you're seeing all this madness and stuff.
My
And you know,
sister called me tonight and asked me if I knew what Q was.
and she's
And that's what I mean. That's like, she is so not even, no way. And
she
she's
got a long way to go.
yeah, she's like, somebody was mentioning it to her. She goes, oh, I bet my sister might know about that. So she calls her and she goes, do you know what this is? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I thought so. I'm like, yeah, sister, you might want to. She goes, yeah, I've been looking a little bit at it. She goes, it's pretty interesting. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but just tell her to skip that chapter and start about halfway.
I know, I'm telling you, but it's so funny. And then like I was getting at my my doctor's office, and the secretary was totally aware of the mass global meditation on 4/4. It's like I was floored, you know. It's like everywhere I'm turning now, people that had absolutely no clue are like, do you know about this? And do you know about this? And it's amazing. Yeah,
It is.
it's amazing.
Sorry, Robert, I didn't mean to get off track.
Oh, no. I want to add something to what Trina said. See, Trina, you are exactly right. And like they called you when they had a question. Now they're waking up.
Yeah.
And when they wake up, they think of the first person that they thought would know something about this because you were the abnormal person. Okay,
You know, because
now,
in their mind, they're always looking at you going, man, that's crazy. The stuff they look, and then when this all comes to where it's at, that I've always known this, they're all going to come to us now. They're going to be like, what is
yes,
going on? And we're going to have to direct them how to go and do some research, because there's a lot of
yes,
information that they truly don't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
and
going
that's
to be intense for many of them.
yeah. And so what I'm suggesting is everybody out there that's going to be one of these people, go out, learn as much as you can. So when these people come up to you and they're awake and they're going, oh my gosh, this is going on, you can give them something, because otherwise, if you give them the wrong information, or if you go, this is, I don't know now. Oh, I don't, and then they're going to just move right on to the next person who's going to give them.
You know, I learned some valuable information with people who are waking up, and I learned a lot of valuable information when I was waking up, because when you wake up, sometimes the information is so mind-blowing, you want to shout it from the rooftops.
Yep.
And you don't understand how everybody's not as excited about this as you are, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going through this, you know.
Go ahead and answer it. I'll mute you. Okay.
Yeah, major processes, and I'm having these awakenings, and you know, you try to explain to people and they're just not getting it. So it's when people are awakening and you're awakening, there's a level of excitement for the one who's awakening. And like if somebody comes at you and they're awakening and they're full on a, say, a truther movement or whatever's waking them up, because we all wake up different ways.
Yep.
For some people it's the planetary stuff, for some people it's the government stuff, for some people it's the monetary system, for some people it's the health system. It's coming from all different angles right now, every single one. So
it's just when you start to question your reality.
Yeah, but when they come to you with this excitement or whatever, I found the best way not to shut them off or have them attack you is to simply validate what they're saying to you. If you're aware of it, be like, yeah, isn't that amazing? I've heard of that too. Don't be the expert, because it just screws them up. And the other thing is try not to give them information unless they ask for it.
Yeah, no, it's you can't force it on anybody. They've got to be ready.
It's just they're on a track and they're trying to get information in a certain flow, and you might think you know where they're wanting to go with this, but they might not be ready for it. So pay attention to what they're asking from you. Try not to offer too much too fast, because it just might trip their trigger to shut them down. So you got to be careful, because they're kind of in a fragile state when people are really waking up in a big way, in a fast way. And they're
you think you're losing your mind.
You do, yes. Yeah. You want validation. You want people to understand.
Yeah.
I got a simple antidote for that, and that's okay, back in the, I've had people, just like you said, Trina, you have people that come up and they, and you want to wake them up and then you just give them too much stuff and it just overloads your mind and they, and they just go back to, they just want to go back to sleep. And I've had that happen before. So I realized here's a simple way to look at it. You have a chicken. You give it one kernel at a time and the chicken grows up and lives a long time and does real good. But if you throw the whole cob out there, the chicken chokes on it or he can't eat it and he just dies of starvation, even though he's got all that corn sitting in front of him. He can't eat the whole cob. He can only eat one kernel. See,
yeah, it's so funny. Every time I think about awakening, I think of Shrek. We're like onions. We got layers, and you got to go through the layers, and all those layers are going to present themselves in different ways. So we got to have some space for that. And it's just like when you get downloads, you can only get so much information, and then you have to process it. You have to digest it, and then you'll start receiving more. But if you got all of it at one time, it would knock you off your foundation. You would not be mentally stable. So you don't want that. Yeah. You need things to progress in the way that they progress in your own circumstance and reality. In the way that's happening for you, know it's perfect for you. And don't think you're going to do it like anybody else, because I'm telling you, we're all onions and we're all very specific little onions. So doing it our own way.
No, I can say I'm very grateful that, I at least had an inkling of knowledge about, the ascension and all that. I'd actually started, because if I wouldn't have, had some of that knowledge, I literally would have thought I was going crazy.
Oh my God. I started waking up. I was talking to the Lord since I was a little kid. I mean, right out of the gate, it was over for me. But you try to, like you said, you try to pretend like it's like, I just want to fit in, be normal like everybody else. So, there's like my own little thing. But the world wouldn't let it be that way. Nope. It's just,
if that would have happened to you nowadays, Trina, that they would have said, "Oh my God, this little kid's nuts. Put her on some drugs."
Oh, the Lord told me that when I was a little kid. He told me when I went to church and I knew I could see him and they couldn't. He said, "Don't tell anybody you can see me," because he says they'll tell you you can't.
I wonder if that big push for all those psychoactive drugs was to try to keep those kids from going through this process.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right, Brian. You're absolutely right. And all of the Prozac and all of these drugs, it literally stops you from being able to connect to your oversoul, because the desire for God is like numbed. It's like it numbs it sometimes.
The calcified pineal gland.
But it's also like specifically targeting a part of our brain that's receptive to spirit and God. I literally see that this part of our brain has literally been chemically focused and attacked. And a big part of it is the pineal, but it's also within the brain itself.
Well, I mean, because you see a lot of these other, younger kids and man, they're smart, like super smart.
Yes.
So now, Trina, this is a question for you. And since you brought all this up, with that said, do you believe that since they've been giving out these drugs for, umpteen years, that the powers that be knew ahead of time by some factor fiction that they knew that there was going to be this massive awakening, starting with the kids having their minds open, be able to hear some crazy.
I can totally hear what you're. Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying with that. They literally publicly wrote down that they had that agenda. It's literally called the covenant.
Come up with a drug, and we're going to do this so that we're going to eliminate 75-80% of those kids, and they won't wake up, and they won't have visions, they won't know anything, they won't be able to say anything, and the other ones will call them all nuts, and they'll shut up, and now we got 100%.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. So they've been planning for this. I mean, everything goes in cycles.
It was a whole big plan.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like this virus thing. Oops, I said. But anyway.
No, it's all right. You can say that. I just don't want to say the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But
the magic
the thing that's coming. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, this is too much. All I'm saying is there's too much chaos with this, that it's too planned to be chaos. I mean, it's just going on too good.
Yep.
It seems like chaos to us, but if you really sit down and see how they progress and how they withdrew and how they're gonna, we're already planning that they're gonna do this in the fall again. So
When you
it's
look
like we
at
can
when
see
you
it's
look at
happening.
this from a like a psychology perspective, like what this
Yes.
does to the brain, because what's been associated with this is the covering of the face, which is saying on a subconscious level, it's saying that it's saying isolation, it's saying no ability to live a life of happiness, a pursuit of happiness, basically home arrest. When you look at the behaviors implemented for this, which the numbers really don't justify it, but when you look at the behavior, this is like how you traumatize and fractal personalities through mind control. This is the trauma setups that they use to initiate these forms of mental fractaling, isolation,
Yeah.
starvation, cover your face, not being able to do the things you normally do, getting locked up. These are all things that cause extreme trauma to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
to the psychosis of a human being. Yeah.
And they're
You do
doing it
these
on a
things to a
mass
child,
scale.
if you do these things to an infant baby, that child will die. It'll
Yeah.
physically
I heard
die.
that.
So that's what I'm telling you. It's like this, what is being done, people need to look at. It's like, why would they do this? Because they understand psychologically what this would do to a human, to humanity and children. It's dark and nefarious, because I would have to assume they understand that.
Yeah, Critical Thinker 313 says they are checking our DNA to see if we have the God factor. I think
Okay.
you're spot on.
I do too.
Mm.
Bingo. You're so smart, critical
Oh,
thinker.
this chat room has been freaking humming with all kinds of good. So go back and
Y'all are
watch chat.
brilliant.
Yeah, I love my chat room. Like I said,
Y'all are brilliant.
I've got the best chat room on YouTube.
We brought up some good subjects, and I got one left. Let me finish this one out.
Lay it on us.
Okay. And this one, there's going to be about I think the whole chat room is going to want to do this one. You guys do too, especially you, Brian. Okay. A good song or album, how it made you feel, what it made you feel, where did you feel it, and when?
Pink.
How,
Floyd,
what, when, and where? Like what songs, I mean, you all know there was a good song that you were playing in the car one day when
You got so many of those moments.
I know, but that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a challenge
Oh, yeah.
to pick out a good song or album, whatever, that reminds you of that good time, that you had whenever, blah, 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 blah. And, when did you play it? With your first girl? Did you play it with your first guy there? Blah, blah, blah. When you won the football game kind of thing, was that playing? You know what I'm saying? It's
challenge accepted.
There you go. See? I know everybody loves music and they're always talking about music. So, it's a good one to pick up. So that's my last one for tonight.
And to be honest with you, like Trina said earlier, I mean, I could see myself pretty much doing every single one of them, maybe a couple of them twice,
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be presenting some things so out there. So next, folks, what are you going to do? You better bring it.
Yeah, bring it.
Yeah.
Just bring special stories or moments or things that inspire and things that bring positive frequency.
Yeah.
Bring in that frequency, because we want to be the frequency we want to receive, right?
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That, like I said, those were just ideas. Give somebody to think about, something to work with. You need a tool to work with, and there's your tools.
Yep.
Go out and use them. Use your brain now. Everybody's got one. They're all awake. Everybody out there's awake. They're thinking, and they're make a video. Write a story, send it to Brian in an email. You don't have to come on. You just need to share your story, share your adventures, share. That's what it's
it'll
all
open
about.
up new avenues for you too. Oh, Teresa
Yeah.
Hogan, she wants to know what's my email. It's milkywayweekly@gmail.com, and it's also in the description of this video. You can go and hit on the blue link and it'll take you right to it. So anyway, sorry, she was asking.
Oh, that's fine. That's there you go. See, she's gonna be emailing you.
Brain, that's what I'm saying. And like I said, I've got the best chat room. They always say, the best things in there. So like, I think it's going to be amazing what people can bring. Like, I'm excited to see what they do send.
Yeah.
Well, I think like seriously, they're some of the smartest, most deepest thinkers and seekers I've ever met in my life in this chat room. It's mind blowing, and I see them on other chats of similar resonance, and it's so crazy, and it's so funny because I bet you like 90% of us follow like all the same people, and we don't even know it. It's hilarious.
It's funny though. I see it time after time after time. People will come in to the chat like for the first time, and 8 times out of 10, they're going to say something like, "Man, there's some great energy in here."
Yes,
that's one thing about chat. Like, you feel the energy.
Yes, and everybody's so nice in here. It's like such a beautiful place.
This truly is our family. We found each other.
Yeah. And it's so funny because it's like the darkness just doesn't stay here because it just doesn't fit.
I ain't got time for that.
Just kind of goes away. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Like
He's riding that high vibe. This tribe, man. Whoo.
So let me ask you, Robert, what are you going to bring forth?
Well, so far I brought forth all of this.
Well, yeah. So you're not participating at all. Come on.
No, I'm sure I'll think of something, but I might pick out something here too. But like I said, I did all the thinking, and don't worry, I had more papers tonight to read from. I think I sent all you this stuff too. But, anyway,
you got more to share? Go ahead, man. We got
yeah. Well, we got time. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well. Yeah. Oh, shoot, we got time. Now all of you know, and this is gonna help you with your projects too. Okay, and this is about manifestation. Everybody's been talking about manifestation, and you've all went through the higher consciousness book. Yeah, probably everybody's got it, and if you don't have it, Brian's got it, and he'll send it to you.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
And in there, I wrote down some things because I've read several books, and I got several of them here, and I sent one to Brian in case anybody doesn't have that one, because I'm going to read from that one too, but it's just for 3 things. Okay, from the Spiritual Science Higher Consciousness Thinking book, on page 40, it said, Moses wrote about how to pray and get results every time, and this was about manifesting. He called it praying because that's how they understood it, but I think he was manifesting. And he said, go in your chamber, go within. We were just talking about that. Go within you. Know what you want. Send a clear message and do not waffle. I don't know what waffle is, look it up. See it in your heart. Number 3, see it in your heart. Visualize it, heart and mind. And at the time, heart and mind meant the same thing at that time. Okay, number 4, speak it out loud with emotion. Emotion, they keep repeating this on everything I ever read. It is always said, emotion. So tears flow. Emotion is a carrier of thought. Okay, so you want to manifest, you want to do it with emotion.
That's why you feel it like you've already got it. You want to feel that joy, like it's like you're already playing with it.
That's right.
You feel it.
Yep.
5, know it is yours. Have conviction of its fulfillment. Just like you said, like you already got it. Know it's yours. Okay, then number 6, leave it to God. Let it go and allow it to happen. Say, I said what I needed to say. I'm walking away and it'll happen. I'm sure of it.
And that's hard to do sometimes.
Okay.
People ponder.
Oh yeah, and they go over and obsess on it. And if you obsess on it and you don't get it, you could wreck yourself. Okay, now this is from the book that Wayne had, The Teachings of the Masters of the Far East. Now this is from volume two, it's from volume 2, the second book, page 29. It says, this is their version of how to manifest, at least is what I see. It says, we will suppose it is ice you desire. Would you begin by speaking the word ice, all about you indiscriminately? If you did, you would scatter your forces in all directions and nothing would come to you. You should first form a mental picture of what you desire, hold it directly in thought just long enough to get the image, then drop the image entirely and look directly into the universal God substance. Know the substance is part of God and therefore a part of you. And in the substance, there is everything you need. That God is pressing that substance out of you just as fast as you can use it, and that you can never deplete the supply. Then brought forth from this substance, whether they have done it consciously or unconsciously, now with your thought and fixed vision on the one central atom, God, hold that atom until you have imprinted your desire upon it. You will lower the vibration of that atom until it becomes ice. Then all the atoms surrounding that one will hasten to obey your desire. Their vibration will be lowered until they will adhere to the central particle, and in that moment, you will have ice. You do not even need any water about you. You only need the ideal.
Now, whose aspect was that?
This is from that Masters of the Far East that Wayne had that book he was reading. And I'm on volume 2 of it. I read the whole thing, and then I'm on the volume 2. I got the whole 6 set series.
Brian,
But
yeah.
Oh, is that it?
yeah, that's the book. There you go. You've read it then.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's something I'll
that's
have to find.
yeah, but it says that in here, and the more I read it, it just says, hey, you can do this too. Like we've always talked about, all this stuff is in you.
Yeah.
You're willing to go out and do it and imagine it. It's all in your brain. You have the energy. You just have to connect, and connect. Okay, now this is from another book. This is and if you kind of put these all together, they're all talking about emotion. They're all talking about desire and things like that. So this one's on how to make our mental pictures come true. A series of easy lessons in the art of visualizing by George Schubel. And now I sent this book to you, Brian, and Trina, I think you got it too in your email. And Brian, if people want it, you could probably send that out to them too.
Yeah, I've already downloaded it. So if anybody wants a copy, I can send it.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. And here on page 28, it says, this one's a lot harder to understand than some of these easy. We went from easy to really hard, but you're going to get the bit of it. Now this one
Time
here,
to level up anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, it says we become conscious in the initial movement or outpush of the mind light substance, shaping itself through us in its most primary sense of motion and commotion, or as we are accustomed to call it, emotion. When the impulse is forcible enough to motivate and sustain itself in differentiation, takes place in a form of what we call desire. If our desire is sufficiently strong and visualized, a further differentiation of the mind light takes place spontaneously or in visualizing deliberately in the form of an objective thinking, establishing itself in the objective state of our consciousness as an object of light, an enlightened idea or thought object, which, as we shall observe later, we are able to see within our reflection, and which by further specialization becomes reproduced outwardly as a thing. The process which results in this later phenomenon is explained by the fact that the substance of light within our mind forms itself outwardly by acting upon the substance of light outside of the mind, and this is the manner in which it is assumed that our thought objects reproduce themselves in outward visible form in the things which we desire.
There we go.
So now that was a little more complicated than just think it, imagine it, say it, and walk away.
Yeah,
You know,
and like I
it's
said,
basically the same thing.
my biggest hurdle for me in the beginning, as far as manifesting, was just trusting myself, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. Just
Yeah.
yeah. I know it sounds so easy to say, but trust me, folks. Like, you're really capable of amazing feats that you would think would never be possible.
Guys, I blew my own
Mhm.
mind with the way that I could manifest. It literally almost spooked me. It was so profound, and it was
Careful what you wish for.
exactly what I had manifested, but literally it came forth in a better way than I could have even imagined it, which is so mind blowing.
It is.
It's literally truth. All right, can I read you guys something real quick?
Absolutely. I'm not in a hurry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking about, how we are part of the creator and how this is how we truly manifest. Well, this is from a book I love, and it's this one,
What's it
The Light,
called? The Light of what?
The Light of Egypt,
Okay.
The Science of the Soul and the Stars.
Okay.
This book is one of my favorites. And it says, Soul Knowledge, Book 3, the Aphorasamata of the Logos. And it says, 1, whatever exists either as a whole, as a God, or is a part of an emanation from God. 2, in the whole, as an angel, unconscious of the whole, is an unascended spirit. 3, parted from the whole, yet a portion of the whole, and unconscious of the whole, is the law of differentiation. Sorry, that was a
Sorry.
tongue
I butcher words all the time.
I know. It's like, okay,
I had a
4,
hard time with that one too.
when we are parted from the whole, with the whole, yet external to the whole, it is a descent or a fallen spirit. Number 5, parted from the whole, with the whole, yet conscious of the whole, and knowing it has fallen away from, and that it should and can return to the whole. This is the law of reascension. So all these laws are explaining how we're just different levels of source, literally. So to understand that through these different levels and layers of source that you've existed and that you're still connected to every single part of that. And this is truly how you manifest, from pulling it from the ethers and bringing it into physicality. You're doing it through the use of your atom. You're literally traveling at light speed through utilizing light code, and you're bringing forth a match of your vibrational desire through these universal laws of your connection to all that is.
Could you imagine if they would have taught this in school instead of the crap they do now?
Right. We would all be so smart.
Oh
So
my God, it would be
the last
beautiful.
2, and it says, that which is parted from the whole and turns again to the whole is the law of true repentance. And number 7, that which is parted from the whole and has again returned to the whole as a part of the whole remains so forever as a blessed spirit. And the law of perfect at-one-ment is attained.
The perfect what?
Atonement.
Atonement.
At-one-ment. Atonement.
I think that doing those poetry readings and stuff next Friday will be fun. I really do. What was you getting ready to say, Robert? I saw you getting ready to say something.
Oh, I was gonna say that was perfect. That was really good. It really says that, like we read in that higher conscious mind thing. It's like you are part of everything. And then Trina says that, or you said something about if they taught that in school. Well, that's exactly the opposite of what they're teaching.
Yeah.
Hey, you're an individual. You don't connect to anything. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And now they're
we're taught
separating
to
even
drop to our knees and beg, oh please, oh please, and that is not how it works. When you do that, you're bringing more crap into your reality because you're sending out that frequency of absolute despair and hopelessness, and like you have no power.
If you're sending that out, that's what you're going to get back.
That's right. That's exactly it. What you send out is what you get.
Yep. I guess.
Well, yeah.
I didn't order that, and the universe is like, "Oh yeah, you did."
You did.
With a lot of energy too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's why people, when they just sit there and sulk and lay in that, whatever it be, a breakup or whatever, they just sit there and wallow in the mire, as the Doors would say. And of course, that's what you're going to get back, because whatever thought you're producing, that's the ripple you're throwing out into the universe.
Yeah, so, and I don't think it has any other option.
It doesn't.
This is the way it works. That's why I said, it's like so much of ascension is literally just the job of starting to babysit your own consciousness and managing your frequency. That's like 90% of it, because it's it takes a little work to do that, but
yeah,
90% of it.
You're going to attract what you put out and support the thought.
Yeah,
it's like all of us
vibration
that came here.
It's going to come back to you, so if you can keep yourself balanced and vibrating at a reasonably high vibration and staying positive and blessing the world, and instead of looking at it for the craziness that it is, it's going to come back to you. It starts to show up in your reality.
Well, like Think Agape, Love Always and Forever said, rhyme sounds like be the frequency you want to receive, and that's it. That's exactly why that's my quote for this channel. What you get out, you get back.
Yeah, couldn't say it better. I'm like, that's how it works. Tesla, he was trying to tell us years ago, you understand the laws of frequency and vibration, and you will understand the universe.
Yep, that's it. Well, y'all got a final thought for us?
Having rock and roll. So glad to be here with y'all.
I gotta say real quick though, it was funny last night. Everybody kept commenting on the glasses and stuff, which I've wore these glasses for a long time. Not all the time on here, but I don't think it was the glasses that people were actually noticing the difference. I shaved, and not one person had noticed.
Oh yeah, because
I had the beard and it's gone. So that's why the glasses look good. Back to baby face.
That's exactly it.
Oh, I'm telling you, I got a baby face. It's terrible.
You do, and you're always going through these transformations. Yeah, so
we'll see how long this lasts.
Yep. You'll be fuzzy again.
It's fine.
Yeah, well, Robert, give us a final thought then.
Yeah, I want everybody to go out there and do those things, and I want to see some good results, and I'm wishing everybody manifest what you want to put down and do, and don't just sit there and say, I'm going to do it. Don't say, try, do. I think that's a Yoda thing. I got it wrote down somewhere, but he says, Yoda, everybody's watched Star Wars. I don't have to, but anyway, Yoda said, don't try, do or not do. That's it.
That's
do or not do. Don't try.
Well, I'm glad both y'all join me again. I hope I like this, so we'll have to do it again sometime. But Robert, are you going to be joining us?
Absolutely.
For the poetry reading and all that? Like, I want as many people to join us as possible.
Oh yeah, I do whatever. Yeah, I'm always good with anything.
Well, good deal. Well, folks, I'll be back tomorrow night with Trina Phoenix. We're going to be doing the Higher Minds, Sunday and Monday. So tune in for that. But until then, for Robert and Trina, be the frequency you want to receive, folks. I love you all tremendously and have a wonderful night.